Hi everyone, it's Gina and I'm back with another video, and today I have one of my favorite hauls, which is from the local herbal shop, and I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. But if you are new to my channel, you probably have never heard of me and heard of all the good stuff I talk about. Alright, so if you're new to my channel and you love this video and you love all the other stuff that you're going to check out, there's a little red button at the bottom. Please be sure to click that, as well as click the bell beside it, so that you know when I upload new content. And I would encourage you to go ahead and check out a few of my other videos. I share a lot of different content on here, ranging from my journey with chronic illness, the natural remedies that I use, all the way through to makeup videos, to medicinal weeds that people would consider just be weeds, but you know, when I look at them, I see something completely different. I talk about essential oils, I talk about crystals, all kinds of stuff. So if you like that kind of content, please be sure to join the family simply by clicking the red button. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into this Mrs. Mango's haul, shall we? All right, so let me talk about some stuff that's sitting on the table already. One of the main reasons why I made this trip was because I have been trying to heal a few ulcers that have popped up in my mouth. And whenever you have lupus, I think they say about 45% of people who have lupus tend to get ulcers in their mouth from time to time. And it's been, I want to say maybe a year and a half since I've had any. And if you've ever had any ulcer in your mouth, you know how painful it can be. So I went and got made some herbal mouthwash. Well, I got the items to make the herbal mouthwash, and I brought them home and I went ahead and ground them up. So let me show you what the powder looks like, and then I tell you what's in it. Hopefully I don't spill it all over the computer. But this is the powder, and if you can make tea, you can make this, because it's literally just like boiling some tea and swishing it around in your mouth after it's cool. So you can't really see, but it has a slight pinkish color to it, and yellow, because there are rose petals in here as well. But let me tell you, let me close that up before it goes everywhere. Let me tell you what's in it. It's got rose petals, which I mentioned, echinacea, calendula flowers, golden seal, myrrh, and you're probably familiar with frankincense, gold, and myrrh that were given to Jesus at his birth. So myrrh is in here, as well as white oak bark. So those are the items that are in here, and what I did, I bought them whole, and then I brought the items home and I ground it into a powder. And I take about 1 teaspoon to about 2 cups of water. I simmer it on the stove. You don't want to boil them, because then you destroy all the benefits. So I bring it just to a slow simmer, turn it off, let it. Okay, so once it's been simmering for about 10 minutes, that's about as long as you want it to go on for. You take it off of the stove and you let it cool completely, and then you have your mouthwash. Actually, what I did was I strained it using a piece of cheesecloth. That way you got all of the residue from the herbs out of there, and then you're just left with what looks like tea, but there's no sugar or anything in there. So what you're left with is this. And I know it's dark, it's colored, but it does not stain your teeth when you're using it as a mouthwash. And I use it about 3 to 5 times a day, especially if you have any kind of ulcers in your mouth and you're trying to get some kind of relief from that. Then you want to use it about 3 to 5 times a day. Otherwise, you can just use it whenever, after you brush your teeth or before you brush your teeth. Entirely up to you. But this is what it looks like. It literally just looks like tea. Alright, and this is herbal mouthwash. Okay, so let me share with you a few of the other items that I picked up while I was there. I did pick up quite a few honey sticks. And honey, this is raw honey. Raw, I believe these are wildflower honey. There's usually 2 different kinds that I get. There's the wildflower and the orange blossom. And I usually get some of them in stick form, and just one of these, using just one of these a day really helps with allergies. So now that it's spring, if you have any kind of allergy symptoms, just taking one of these honey sticks will help you to alleviate some of those allergy symptoms. So this is raw honey, and I was supposed to get a big bottle of honey and I completely forgot, but I ended up picking up at least some honey sticks. Alright, so let me share you a few other things. I'm going to be doing some perfume crafting for a friend of mine. So I did pick up this large roller bottle, and the top part here just pops off. Then I fill it with the essential oils and the carrier oil, pop that back on, and then this just screws on, and I put a nice little label on there, and that will be that. So a friend of mine asked me to make an essential oil blend to help her with some menopausal symptoms, so I'm going to be doing that. And since we're talking about making perfumes, one of the things I love about these essential oil blends is that they smell good and they're actually good for you. They all have some kind of medicinal benefit. So let me share with you a couple of the oils that I brought. Here's a nice big bag of just a few of them, and I made a perfume with some of them, and they're right here. So let me just share a few of them with you. So we have sweet orange, and I picked up some vanilla. I usually get the dram, and these last me a long time. Picked up some bergamot or bergamot, depending on who you talk to. I also picked up some helichrysum. Let me grab the others from here. And this is some patchouli, and patchouli is one of those ingredients that's used a lot in making perfumes. So patchouli is in there, and patchouli is always in any of my meditation blends as well, but it smells absolutely amazing. And I picked up an opium blend. I'm sure everybody knows what opium is. So that's an opium blend, and it is so intoxicating. So this is going to be going into another meditation blend, but it's one of those that kind of takes you into like a really deep meditation. So that's what that's reserved for. Then I have some myrrh. Now I have this is the Myrrh Essential Oil. What I used in my herbal blend is the myrrh powder or the resin, which I blended up really well with the other herbs and then made it into this this mouthwash. So I did not put the essential oils in there. That's purely from the resin. So I have some lemon, and lemon is really good if you're driving long distances. I usually put a little bit on a piece of paper towel or tissue or a cotton ball and stick it into the AC vent, and as you're driving, that just kind of fills the car with that scent, and it really just, you know, lifts up your spirits and just wakens you up. So lemon is really good for that. It's good for a lot of other things too, but that's what I use it for quite a bit. And this is geranium rose. I'm just sharing with you the essential oils that I got. We got some sage essential oil, but I also have the sage leaves, which I'll share with you later on. And here's some rose hip seed oil, which is really good for the skin, and that's one of the ingredients that's in that with geranium rose is in the oil blend that I use on my skin. Here we have some blue lotus essential oil, and this again is just wow. And this is a fairly expensive oil, so I don't and I got a dram of usually the essential oils. Whenever I go to pick them up, I usually get a dram because the dram lasts me a long time. And here we have some rosemary, and rosemary is really good for focus and memory. So whenever I make the blend for my son, when he's studying, it has rosemary, basil, clary sage, and a couple other essential oils in there, which helps him to focus as well as to remember. And rosemary is called the herb of remembrance, but that is the essential oil. And this is jasmine. So I've got some jasmine essential oil, and I also picked up some jasmine flowers to make some tea. And here we have some rose essential oil. And the last one of these, the essential oil blends, this is eucalyptus, and I usually mix this with some tea tree and peppermint and a few other things as a blend that I put onto a bath rag. Then I put it at the bottom of the tub, and as the shower, the hot water hits it, then it sends off that, you get a nice aromatherapy session in the tub. It helps to really open up your nasal passages and helps you to breathe. So that's all of the essential oil blends. That's all. Yes, just a few. All right. So what else did I get? I picked up, these are honey candy. Let's see if I can see them. That's honey candy, and when you suck on them, when they get down to the very middle, there's actually honey on the inside. So it's hard shell on the outside and then honey, nice soft middle on the inside. So I picked up a few of those, which will also help with any, if you have any kind of issues in your mouth. Honey is very healing. So if you get a cut, you can easily rub some honey on it, and it helps to heal it up right away. It's good for using in your mouth, even though it's sweet. If you have any kind of oral issues, use it on that. What else? Now, if you want me to do a video on a few of these, then please let me know, because I'd be willing to do that. I know this is a lot, just kind of throwing out all of these names, but I'd be happy to go through each of the oils and do a video on each of those as well. So here we have bay leaves, and a lot of people cook with bay leaves, but bay leaves is also good for manifestation. I know a lot of people who actually, if you have a goal or you have something that you really want to manifest, you write it on the bay leaf and you simply burn it while you're thinking about what it is you want to manifest, and you will manifest it. So if you're doing any of that stuff, you want to make sure that you're in the right frame of mind, because mindset does have a lot to do with whatever it is you want to manifest. So it's more about mindset than it is actually about burning the leaf. But I know a lot of people who use the bay leaves for manifestation. I picked up a few bay leaves, and I actually have a bay plant that I'm growing, but it's very small. Right? Actually, let me just grab it and I'll show it to you. This is right here. I kept it inside over the winter because I didn't want it to die. But this is a little bay tree, and it's doing really well. As it gets bigger, I will transplant it into something bigger. But there we go. All right, next I picked up some, and these will go into some mason jars, but for now I'm just showing you how I got them. This is bee pollen, and bee pollen has so many benefits, and there's so many different ways of using this. You can simply just take a teaspoon, pop it into your mouth, chew it up, and you're good. You can get all the B vitamins. I won't even go into this. Is a whole video by itself. So but bee pollen, I picked up some of that. All right, and now we can talk about the benefits of each of these, like I said, in a separate video. Otherwise, I will be dragging this one out. All right, I picked up this tea. It's called Genmaicha tea, and I wanted to try it. It's actually like green tea with puffed rice and a few other things in there. So I'm going to try this, and I will let you know how that tastes, because it's supposed to have a lot of benefits as well. So that's Genmaicha. All right. I picked up some dry rose petals, which I'm going to be using to make tea, but I'll also use some of them in another crafting project that I'm going to be doing, making a crown. It's a crown with crystals as well as some dried flowers. So I have some rose petals, and then with the rose petals, I mentioned this earlier, I got some jasmine flowers. Jasmine flowers, I'll also add some of these to my crown, plus I'll also add this to some tea blends. So that's jasmine. And if you've been with me for a while, you know that anytime I go there, I always pick up a big bag of dried or dehydrated vegetables. And there's so much in here. There's onions and carrots and peppers and celery and peas and lots of herbs like basil and oregano, thyme. But I use this in so many ways. I add this to rice as I'm cooking it, and the vegetables just, of course, once they're in water, they will expand. They get rehydrated, but it tastes amazing in rice. If you're making soup, any kind of soup whatsoever, you put some of this in there, adds a whole other element to it. This is absolutely amazing. So I picked up a bag of that. And I mentioned earlier, I also have some sage. I did have a little bit more here in the powder form, so I didn't get as much of the leaves. But I did pick up some sage, and we use sage for smudging. I do have powdered sage that I use for cooking as well. I did pick up some calendula flowers, and calendula is really good for making. You can make a mouthwash, you can make a tea. I use the I make an oil where I soak the calendula flowers into olive oil, and just that oil alone as a massage oil is it's divine, absolutely divine. So there's so many uses, and calendula is very, very healing. If you were to get some kind of a cut, you can simply use that as well for any kind of abrasions. Another use for calendula is for pain. So if you have any kind of joint pain, it's good to keep a little jar of the calendula oil next to your bed, and you can just use that to massage your joints at night or whenever you're feeling any kind of pain. I use this on my son because he has we both are carriers of the sickle cell trait, and periodically he also gets joint pain, and this is one of the things that I use for him. This the calendula oil. So let me put that aside. I picked up some copal resin, and I'm going to be mixing this with some frankincense and myrrh to make an incense. So it looks very similar to frankincense. Myrrh is a little more on the brown side, but this is copal, C-O-P-A-L resin. Now I also picked up, usually I'll pick up some frankincense and myrrh resin, but I decided to just pick up some of the incense already made, and what I do is I just break up the incense, I'll add some copal resin, and it will be self-incinerating, I guess is the word. It will be able to burn on its own without having to put it into a charcoal disc. So I have some of that. Let me see what else I got back here. I did pick up these. These are called argonite or argon pendants, and I'm hoping that you'll be able to see. These are crystals in resin, and then there's a piece of copper wire which is a good conductor. And what these particular, I have two. This one is mine. Let's see if you can see that. So it's all different crystals on the inside, ranging from the root chakra all the way up to the crown chakra. So let me show you the other one, which I got for my son, and then I'll explain what the benefits, or just a couple of the benefits are for wearing these pendants. I got my son's in the form of like an arrowhead. So let me show you the other side where the copper spiral is. So these pendants are great for keeping radiation, electromagnetic frequencies at bay. So if you wear one of these, or especially if you're around electronics, it's really good to have one of these on. If you were at my home right now in front of my Wi-Fi router, you'll see a big piece of black obsidian, and you'll also see a piece of black tourmaline, which help to minimize the effects of the EMF rays that emanate from from the Wi-Fi router. One of the things that I try to do at night as well, unless I'm up working on the computer, is I try to turn off my Wi-Fi while I'm sleeping, because you don't need to be bombarded by those EMF frequencies even while you're sleeping. But wearing one of these necklaces or these pendants will also help to alleviate some of those EMF rays. And you probably have seen videos where they demonstrate um, the use of these and how it drastically reduces the EMF frequencies as for anyone who's wearing these. So this is one thing that I will definitely do a video on to kind of to give you some more information on how beneficial one of these argon pendants are. And you can also look it up for yourself, and you can read up on it to see what the benefits of these are. Again, the argon pendants. So I got one for me and I got one for my son as well. But while we're here, I also have different crystals by the Wi-Fi router, which also help to reduce the effects of the EMF frequencies. All right, so what else do I have? I picked up some goodies. I love dragons. So I found this, and I think this was actually gifted to me because I went through my receipt, and I don't think I was charged for this and another item that I'm going to show you. But I absolutely love dragons, and I thought, oh, this one is amazing. Let me just kind of turn it so you can see. If you could see this in person, it's absolutely stunning. So that, I believe that was a freebie. Alright, so let me show you a few other items. Next month, May, is my birth month, and I received this cup. It does say May on it, and it also has May, the flower for the birth flower for the month of May is the lily of the valley. So it's got the lily of the valley all over, and then the saucer also has the lily of the valley. So this will be the cup that I'll be drinking out of next month. All right, just a couple more things. I did find, I thought this was amazing. And I'm pretty sure I got this as a freebie as well. This is an eagle or a hawk. Pretty sure it's supposed to be an eagle. Hawk, osprey. I live in Florida, so there's a bunch of osprey that fly around here. And I believe this is marble. And then it sits on a piece of, I want to say this is agate, some type of agate. And then there's another slab of maybe soapstone, but it's well put together. Yeah, but I do believe that this is agate. Isn't that? And it's quite big. That's the size of my hand, so the wingspan is pretty wide. Thought that was awesome. All right, so I believe I only have one more thing. I left that for last deliberately. I did pick up some CBD. I guess this is called a salve. That's what word I was looking for. So it's made from CBD, and I was actually looking for. I went there requesting to have some chapstick made with the CBD oil, but I found this instead. So this could double as chapstick. This could double as some, if I got any kind of itch, use it there, or for the joints, rub it into the joints. It could work as a lotion. Let me go ahead and open it so you can see. I have been using it on my lips, and I've been kind of massaging my jaws and my neck and this area. So, but this is what it looks like, and like I said, I have been using it. I got it 2 days ago. And it is made from, like I said, CBD oil, and I do believe there's cocoa butter in here, beeswax, frankincense, rosemary, and ginger. There's also shea butter. So, but picked up some of that. And if you haven't started to use CBD oil yet and you want me to give you some benefits of this, I'm sure I probably don't even need to do a video because there's a lot of information out there now on CBD. But I've been using CBD oil for maybe 4 years, 5 years now. And this is the one thing, CBD is the one thing that I think everybody should try. Number one, the way that it interacts with your body doesn't create any kind of side effects, so you're not going to have any kind of issues using CBD oil, because the cells in the way that I understand it is that the cell makeup of the CBD plant matches the makeup in our cells, so it fits in just perfectly. That creates no kind of side effects, no kind of issues, so it's quite safe to use. So some CBD salve, which doubles as my chapstick and doubles as lotion and doubles as pretty much everything. All right, so that is the haul. I do believe that is everything. Yes, I believe that's everything that I got. If you do want to hear more about any of these, just simply post a comment below and I will gladly make a video and discuss any of those items in a separate video, because I know that this is a little bit of a longer video than I even anticipated. So again, thank you for watching, and I do appreciate you being here and taking the time to actually listen to this. And if I can help you out in any with any more information, like I said, just comment below. And I will see you all again real soon in another video.